almost the entire board wanted us to shift to Mitengo so that we were going to build much faster and easier.
People thought we would not do it.
If you agree with us, let's move to the area. If you don't agree with us, don't talk about it. Consensual Assembly transition way back in 1990. Formerly it used to be called Narrowway, which was started by Bishop Edward Ishawa, who was an assistant pastor of People's Church. Then he moved to start a church called Narrowway in the Kansenshi area. Later on, he went for studies in the US, so there was a room that we may come in and continue with the work. And those who were there from the beginning, they may remember that we used sometimes to call it Kansenshi Assemblies of God, the Beacon of Hope, because God had told us that it's going to be called the Beacon of Hope, or it's going to be the beacon of the area and the city.
The vision of the pastor then was not the classroom, but the hall. And so as few as we were, initially we were just 3 couples with our small children. And you can imagine what it looked like.
As a board at that time, we thought we should move into the area of acquiring property. And one of the things that we did was we were acquiring property in the city in different areas. And one of the properties we acquired was this land where we are now in Chinika area in North Rise, which is a place where we've put up the sanctuary.
My impression when Bishop shared, because Bishop didn't want an ordinary church building, the one which, what I can say, maybe a classroom kind of structure or a loaf of bread. So I agreed with him that actually it's the right time we moved away from rectangular arrangement of church structures. So I agreed entirely with Bishop Chirambo. And based on that, we set out to look for an architect.
So we came together and agreed that the time, in the fullness of time, that we should put up a sanctuary. But when we were about to move, because the council, so to say, had given us land in Kwacha Road, and we went there, we put up a poster, but later on, before we could start digging the foundations, we were told that we were wrongly allocated. And so since we had a pool of lands where we could choose from, we thought that we should choose Chinika, though not everybody agreed with us, because this area was waterlogged and you couldn't come in because it was all the pool-like.
Truly the land is quite swampy, and the first impression was really quite challenging, and I knew that it was going to not to be an easy task.
So everyone agreed that we should go and put up the sanctuary in Mitengo. But after seeking God, I still felt that God was directing us to this area. So we came up with one thing. If you agree with us, let's move to the area. If you don't agree with us, don't talk about it. That's what we adopted as a theme that time.
I knew that there is a way in which water can be gotten rid of from an area where you want to construction through a process known as dewatering. So we had to divert or channel water away from the construction site and make the water pass on the sides of the plot. And I'm sure most of the members now know where the water is flowing. So we had to dewater the area where the current building is sitting. the land, apart from being swampy, it was also quite steep. There were a lot of trucks that came in to elevate the land so that we could remove the steepness of the land. So we did what is known as backfilling. We backfilled that land with a lot of laterite to reduce the steep elevation.
Now that we've moved into our own building, we will have lots and lots of people joining us. But they won't share the same history that we have.
We are building a church that is a middle class. In other words, we want the high class to come down to meet the lower class, and together as a middle class will be able to move. The high class people in society, it's easy for them to meet the middle class, because the middle class want to be like the upper class. And the middle class, it's easy for them to meet the lower class, because the lower class, they want to be like the middle class. In other words, at the end of the day, even those people, English is just a language. Even the people who can't speak English, who don't know English, who have never been to class, when you come to church, in 1 year, 2 years, they'll be able to explain things to you in English.
Bishop Chirambo came in. He has the personality and the drive that motivates people to work, and also he's so approachable that people come in so welcoming that when they come in, they stay, and then he's a teacher.
In the Bible, there were very few people that Jesus talked to. If there is a solution to your situation, Jesus will stand still.
And so, what we want to do, or what we have embarked on, is our church is not just a place of worship, but it's a place of equipping. Okay, we prepare the saints for greater challenges. In other words, if you come to church, you have come to the college, you have come to the university, you have come to the family counseling, you have come to the career advice center, and all those things must be done. So every preaching, every Sunday is designed with those in the background. So we are looking at a place, beacon of hope. That's why it's called beacon of hope. The hopeless must have hope. Must have hope.
As an old member, I remember that as a church we would invite preachers, particularly Pastor Chanda of Bread of Life. On 2-3 occasions, he would give a prophecy and I see you building a very good structure. I'm even jealous to speak about it. But as you build this structure, know that all the resources are coming from within. You will have no monies coming from outside. It's you people that are going to build this structure. And that word has stayed with me. Many times I reflect on it. And it's true, it's come to pass. Everything has come from within. It's such a marvel what God can do. He's such a good God. I really thank him. I really praise him. And if there's one person rejoicing for what has happened, it's me. To God be the glory.
Up to now, as far as I know, God has been raising people that have been giving money, and members of the church. Some have come in the church and they've given towards the project substantial amounts of money. But in short, it's the members themselves that have raised the funds to put up the structure.
What you are seeing is just a 1/3 of the structure. Okay, if it comes to structure. What you are seeing is just 1/3, because this building is going to have a balcony. We are going to have classes out there, a small hall for the small functions, classes, but we're also looking forward to opening a school of music. Worship to us is very important. Worship to us is very important.
It is a marvel, you know, to see when I look at the new structure and look back, when I reflect on what we've been through and how long it's taken us to get to that building, I feel so, you know, many times I want to cry.
For sure, the hand of God has been with us. The Lord has been with us. I cannot recall any time where we have stopped the project for a longer period of time on account of lack of funds.
I would want to say this, that this is not a one-man's work. We are here as pastors, but let me tell you, God has given us people here. We believe that God has given us. One thing in this church, we don't tell people to join us. We pray and people join us. Okay? And the work you are seeing is that people, God has raised people, and I can say 90% of everything you see around here has been done by members. Okay? I want to thank the board. God has given me a good board, understanding board. The leadership here is united. One of the simple definition of leadership is when you see a need, make appropriate arrangement to meet that need. Don't come and report to me. Don't go and report to other people. The question is, what have you done? So everyone must do something in this church, and everyone does something. So we move as a team. Team leadership is what works in this church. We pray that you will join the team. Amen.
Yesu ndiyo mbelele ya kutoa, belele zinyake zikaba vya nkongono imwe. Ndopa za Yesu ndizo zili na nkongono, pandopa zake zikatikira pampinjika. Kuti iwe na ine tipono sieke lelo.